Hello, party people. Happy Wednesday. This is our community stream. We are so glad you're here to hang out.
Oh,
And
hi.
tonight, oh yeah, hey, it's Sarah, guys. And tonight we're going to be trying something fun and interesting that we haven't done on the community stream, but we're excited to give a shot. We are going to be running a game, a two-person GM-less game with Sarah and I. The game we are running tonight is In the Air Tonight by Austin Ramsay, and it is an awesome, we'll get into it in a second. Before we get into it, Sarah, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm doing well. How are you? How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm out
Yay.
here. We're both in very snowy parts of the world.
Yes.
Oh, Brian's in chat. Brian!
Yay!
Hey, Brian. And everyone else, but it's not often that we get to be on this side of it and Brian's over there. The third person in our triumvirate we have to shout out is Brad. You all might remember Brad from the Gen Con streams. Brad is a Lord of the Board tech genius who is helping us run tonight's stream, and we are very, very thankful for him doing so.
Thank you, Brad.
Yeah, Brad.
We shall give you
Thanks
cookies.
for having me on.
Yay! The voice of Brad seeps in.
Just the voice.
We got a sounds good from the chat, Brad.
Oh, good.
Tonight, we are going to try a game I've never played before. We discovered it earlier today and got so excited we decided to throw it on stream. Quite literally. So this game, I'm going to read you. It's a one-page PDF available on Itch.io, and we'll be posting the link into the chat a little later. But the game In the Air Tonight by Austin Ramsay, inspired by the classic scene in the Miami Vice pilot, accompanied by Phil Collins's In the Air Tonight, a two-player game about partners preparing to do something ethically dubious and definitely dangerous, take turns asking each other questions. After you answer a question, we will mark off on the sheet. So there's a list of questions that Sarah and I will be asking each other. We have no one can ask. There's only one question we both get to ask, but other than that, it's up to us who asks who what. And we're just going to collaboratively spin a story about partners preparing to do something ethically dubious and definitely dangerous. We're going to see how it goes. It's a fun little game inspired by a classic scene that I love. And I think maybe let's play some Miami Vice. Sarah, how do you feel?
I'm super excited about this. I have no idea about Miami Vice except for the 3-minute video that I just watched.
Oh,
so...
sure. Sarah watched the scene, everybody. That's crucial.
The scene, so we know at least what's going on there. I'm super excited about this because I love little games. I love little games that you can literally find an hour before you start playing. And this is just going to be super cool, and I'm excited. And my character's name is Trisha McGee.
Trisha McGee. I got it, Trisha. I heard, and I'm excited to talk to Trisha.
McGee.
T McGee. I haven't figured out who my character is. We're going to find out by the end of this game. Here we go. So Sarah, I'm going to take lead, and what we're going to do is we're going to start by describing what we're doing.
Okay.
I'm going to start in the classic form of Miami Vice, but we can go wherever we want, and at any time while describing, be it 1 minute or 10 minutes or whatever, when you feel that we need to add a question into this, ask a question away, we'll mark it off, and there we go. Jump in at any time. It is GM-less, and the whole point is like yes-anding and a whole lot of flavor.
Gotcha.
Shall we? I just realized I was going to put on a sweatshirt so I'd look a little classier, but I'm rocking the classic Taco Bell t-shirt.
Oh, no, that's perfect.
So that's, that's where I'm at tonight.
You're good. It's all good.
So, Sarah?
Yes.
On a dark evening with storm clouds threatening on the horizon, T. McGee and a character who is yet unnamed climb into a classic Dodge Charger and start rolling down the road. Now, as we are both aware, but unsaid, we are heading towards something ethically dubious and definitely dangerous. And so as you start to see a mist in front of the car, the kind that means that rain is not 10 minutes behind it. And as we start to pull off down the road, taking out from our parking space and heading for the highway, I can't help but switch the radio and discover nothing that sets the scene the way that I feel is needed, because the tension between us is so thick as I look at trees whizzing by, and I can really do anything but focus on the character sitting next to me.
So who's driving? Am I driving? Are you driving?
In my head, I was driving, but we can flip that.
Oh, see, that's perfect, because if you're driving, the only reason why you know my character's name is she's taking off her badge and sticking it into an inner pocket. So you see T. McGee on the badge.
I like it. So we are definitively saying then that, much like in Miami Vice, we are police partners.
I think so, yes.
Okay, great. So police partners. Now, do we rock Vice a la Miami Vice, or are we on a different beat?
I feel like we have to.
You have to live in the moment, right?
Yeah,
like we're still, Phil Collins has begun, right?
Yeah.
You hear it. You hear it. Yeah, but that's like, we got 3 minutes of 3 minutes of slow until we get to that drop.
Exactly.
So as we roll, if you're putting the badge in, okay, so are you going to keep the badge on your person, or are you thinking that we're going to stash the badges somewhere where they can't see ever if they search us?
I figure I'm probably putting it all into an inner pocket of like her suit jacket, because gotta rock the lady pantsuit for sure.
Absolutely.
Because it's boss AF. And because it's a cop car, there's a hidden compartment in the trunk, and then we'll put it all in there. So they'd have to find it and look for it if they were looking to see what was going on.
Absolutely. So, traffic's light. The city's kind of passing by us. We're not speeding. This is not a car that is lights on, I don't think. I think that we're cruising, as it were. I think my character, who I still don't have a name for yet, so we're just going to keep calling my character till I get there. I think my character almost doesn't want to arrive, is not entirely sure of what we're going to find when we get there. So as we're driving, help me out, Sarah Babe. What landmark do we pass?
Oh, where are we? We're
this
anywhere.
Is yours to choose. Yeah, this is yours to choose in this moment.
Geez. My squad. Let's see. My first choice is the Caltrava in Milwaukee, which is the art museum.
I love the Milwaukee Art Museum. 2, I love the hometown rep. We are Vice Squad in Milwaukee.
Right. Because there's definitely some issues here.
Sure.
And honestly, it's just a cool setting, especially at night, because you've got absolute blackness to your east and the high rises of the downtown to the west, and you're driving down Lincoln Memorial Boulevard or Avenue, Lincoln Memorial, whatever. Nobody knows if it's Avenue or Boulevard anymore.
I'm sure. I'm sure someone knows.
Right. But
it's not lost to history.
Right. Yeah. It's not lost to history. It's just nobody ever calls it anything. Like Kinnikinnick is KK, So we're just driving on Lincoln Memorial. And
are we heading north or south? Talk to me about what's on Lincoln Memorial.
We're heading north. And on Lincoln Memorial, you've got, it's just as I described. To your east, you've got the blackness that is Lake Michigan, and I imagine the moon coming in between all of the misty, rainy clouds coming through. And you can hear just a little bit of movement on the waves coming up against the marina as we go past the marina, which is right past the art museum and the Veterans Terrace and everything that's going on over there. And to the west, you have just this hill that immediately transitions into all of the high-rise condos, and you have like the US Bank building and the brand new and super shiny in the morning that it sucks to drive next to, the Northwestern Mutual building, and it's all
Right.
just, and the buildings seem to slowly transition down as you go more north, and the road seems to kind of meet up while you're going up. And
Mm.
you see a bridge, you go past the Bradley Beach, you see the currently being repaired bridge of Lake Park, and the you barely see the bistro that's in that park, and you still see the giant structure that seems out of nowhere, that is the Linwood water plant, that just shows itself and then is quickly disguised by the trees that are in front of it. And you'd start getting into a residential area where the houses are huge and beautiful, with these amazing pillars and entryways that would make anyone jealous, with the
Okay, so then
lions and everything.
I love this because I think that's how long does it roughly take to get from the art museum to that area?
Maybe 5 minutes.
Great. Okay, so I think that we are newer partners. I don't think this
Mhm.
is a long formed Vice Squad partnership. I think that you know, going into something ethically dubious and definitely dangerous, do you think that if this is a newer partnership, do you think that this is a we're both veterans newly teamed up? Is it training day style, old like vet and new? Is it both new people onto the squad and this is early on? Like how do you feel about the history of this partnership in terms of like our roles against each other?
I feel like we've both had partners before,
Okay.
but we're still fairly new.
Got it.
And either one of our partners has retired, and the other partner may have like had a heart attack while on duty or something. So that
Mm,
partner is not, the partners are not in the picture anymore because they are gone, whether they have passed or whether they have retired. And I think we're still fairly new,
okay.
and like maybe 5 years on the force.
Got it. Okay, great. And so as we head down, knowing what we know about the task at hand, as the car sort of slips over the highway past the waves and looking forward to these beautiful houses, um, uh, I think. All right, my character's name. I had it. It was almost there, and then I need to take a. All right, my character's name is Perry Worthheim.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah, Perry Worthheim.
Worth time.
And Perry uh Perry is sure that if we have a conversation about what's at hand, we might back out. And I think Perry's the reason we're in this situation, for better or for worse. I think something Perry has done, and maybe this is like the first time Perry has had to come to T. McGee, to his partner,
Mm-hmm.
and say like, I need you to get my back on this one, and we're going to be going a little off book. We got to be a little against the grain. And I don't know that I. Do you think you put up a fuss, or do you think you said yes like right away?
I think I said yes right away because
Okay.
you have to have that trust in a partnership, and T. McGee totally knows that. She has her reservations, which is why she may not be talking a lot.
Oh yeah, sure. Okay. Um and I think that stresses Perry out a little bit. I think Perry's like, I if we talk about it, we might turn around, but also I can't I can't go down for this. I can't like
Right.
Perry desperately needs to talk about it and also to not talk about it. Wow, we just got a chat. I got to throw the band hammer.
Oh,
Uh
dear.
They just goodbye. They threw in the buy followers into our chat.
Oh, that's not good.
Come on, man. Just keep it light, keep it fun. So Perry, as we roll down the road, rather than discuss oh, what's up?
I specifically turn off the radio.
Oh, so you open the space for conversation, but yet don't create conversation. That is a move, Sarah babe. Okay. And Perry, really in the mood, wanting to mention that, but also feeling like we can't talk about that either, rolls down the window to let in the sounds from the outside and let that kind of sticky air from the incoming rain. I think it's June, maybe.
Yeah, that works.
June feels right. The world's still lush, but it hasn't gotten overly hot yet. But it feels like maybe this is the first, I don't know what it's like in Milwaukee, but in the places I've lived before, there's always like that first rainstorm that hits so hard.
Yes.
So I think we're in that rain, and Perry thinks that maybe if he lets in a little bit of that feeling, it might give him a breath of fresh air from the tension in this car.
All you get from T. McGee is and she reaches into her pocket and pulls out a hair tie and pulls her hair back.
So let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
On this ethically dubious and definitely dangerous task that we are on, what do you, T. McGee, doubt about the ethics of our task?
I doubt that it's in our jurisdiction to enforce this thing. So whether it's something that shouldn't be handled by Vice or should be handled by like a sheriff or the FBI or whatever.
Yeah.
NSA, like whatever it is, it might not be something that we are equipped to handle and might be stepping on a few toes and feet and maybe kicking a few knees in.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely have the feeling that it's dangerous. Like Perry's putting T. McGee in some danger here. Is this do you think that this is something that T. McGee's kind of come across? Is this the first time going off book, or is T. McGee the one you turn to when you need to go off book, or somewhere in between?
I think T. McGee's the one you want to turn to if you're going off book, because she'll do it with you. She'll make sure you're safe. She'll make sure everyone's safe. But afterwards, you're getting a lecture. And not just like a lecture, you're getting we're going out for beers.
I was going to say,
lecture.
Okay, great. That's what I was going to ask. Okay.
Right.
Okay. So as we, we continue on, how you said it's pitch black on one side, lights of a city on the other?
Yes.
And is it on driver's side or is it on passenger side?
Passenger side will be completely dark.
Oh, that's worse. So as Perry's trying to get a sense of what's going on with quick, furtive glances and kind of understanding, he's noticing, the putting up of the hair, the clicking of the radio, and he knows that ethically this is questionable. And but I think Perry's not, we're not talking Training Day. It's not like Corrupt Cop. It's no. Perry's a means to an end kind of guy.
Right.
And so Perry does firmly believe that the outcome of this will be for the best, but is like breaking the rules to maybe cut through some red tape on the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
they're like, look at this thing that fell in our lap.
Absolutely.
We were just in the neighborhood.
And so as the tension grows and we start to come upon where we're headed, Perry makes a left an unexpected left.
Okay.
Taking a detour. And the reason is because Perry says out loud, "You can never be too early, you know." Or that's a, you can we can't be too early, you know. And so he's worried that we're gonna come in a little early and maybe be a little suspicious if we're too eager to get there. And it's unclear if he's really worried about that or if he's trying to open the space for T. McGee to air her dirty laundry here. Or maybe it's just that he's nervous. I think this is it's no one's comfort zone.
There's a donut shop down on North.
Perry nods and begins heading for the donut shop, recognizing that like maybe we can get a conversation over a donut. Maybe we can pull this off at that front. I'm looking at the questions to make sure.
Oh yeah, I was looking at the questions too. I'm like, what we can do.
So as we're coming in on a donut shop, you know, we pull over right side, left side. Is it at a corner or is it on the street?
It's on a corner, and it's on the left side, so it'll be on the driver's side.
Got it. So I think Perry, you know, sees the donut shop coming up ahead. Name? Do you know the name?
Donut Squad.
Shout out to Donut Squad. And Perry pulls a Yui to kind of pull up right in front of Donut Squad, and parking the Charger. He doesn't immediately get out of the car. Just sits there in that as he turns off the car. You know that moment where when you stop a car and the sound of the engine like disappears and you realize that the car is actually stopped. Like, you know how when you pull a car over and it's idling, it's making noise, but you don't really notice it. And then you stop the car and there's like a deafening silence for a second.
Yes.
Yeah. So the car stops and that deafening silence kind of sets in, and Perry, you know, hand on keys, really thinking about what needs to be said, and really quickly before he opens the door and gets out in such a way that he almost doesn't, it's not sure if he actually agrees with this, but he's got to keep revving himself up. He says, you know, we have to do this, you know, and gets out of the car and starts walking towards the front door, almost embarrassed that he had to say that out loud. So, you know, he gets to the door of the donut shop. Donut Squad, you said?
Donut Squad, yeah.
So Donut Squad. Now, are you coming behind? Are you going to have me pick up donuts and wait in the car? What's your play here?
Oh God, the question is, how much of a dick do I want to be?
Whatever T. McGee wants to be.
Right. I'll go in with you. I'll follow in.
Oh, great. So Perry, hoping to get some like bonus points, I don't know, holds the door for T. McGee to head on into Donut Squad, and already thinking about, what do you got?
As she goes by, she goes, "Thanks, I know."
And that's what Perry does, just like a huge exhalation of breath, because it's not great. Like, it's not, the tension has not gone away. We are cutting here, and you know the wafting smell of donuts, or is it just donuts, baked goods as a whole? Where are we at?
Just donuts. Just donuts.
Yeah. So the wafting smell out is good, and it's late, but I still think that Perry wants a cup of coffee, something that will. It's funny because in his head it'll calm his nerves, but what we know about caffeine is that's not how that works.
Right.
Yeah. And he starts imagining immediately the cruller that he's going to get. Do we call them crullers in Milwaukee? Do you guys have a special name?
Crullers.
Okay, great. So walking up to the counter, and still not really talking with T. McGee, except he does do I got it. Like, he's going to buy your donut and whatever else you want, and maybe that'll make you like him a little bit more.
Yeah. Because right now, this is definitely the mom silent treatment.
It is. It feels so very mom-like, Sarah, babe. And Perry doesn't like it. We're partners, damn it.
Right.
We have to be in this together.
It's like every moment that I don't say anything, I'm saying, You owe me.
Yeah. You know, it's that feeling of impending doom because you know you're in trouble, but you know you have to make it through a thing before you can discuss the trouble.
Right. And this is going to hurt probably physically from the hangover.
Yes.
So
It's and do you think, I mean, like, I don't know what Donut Squad's hours are, but let's imagine that there are 24-hour donuts.
oh yeah,
donut
sure.
shops.
I don't know what their hours are either, but sure. Yeah,
They are 24 hours.
They're 24
as of
hours.
now. Yeah. So how I was thinking it was earlier in the evening, but now I'm not. How late into the evening do we think we're doing this? I said earlier, but now I'm wondering I'm wondering where exactly we are in the night.
My instinct is to say 1 a.m.
1 a.m.
Because it's not bar time.
Sure.
But if you're not out, like if you're out for a purpose.
Sure.
And that just seems like a nice, the finality of the bong that you hear across the city from all of the churches everywhere because Wisconsin. So
sure. Yes.
It's just like the final finality of this is the time. And that's all you can really think
1
about.
a.m. hits. We're in a donut shop. We're heading somewhere. I think it's Friday night. I think whatever we're off to do is trying to mask the revelry of a Friday.
Yes.
Is trying to be ready. What do you order?
I order a pink frosted donut with sprinkles and a black coffee.
Classic Homer Simpson move. I get it.
Oh, I just like pink and sprinkles. So, I mean.
Sure. Yeah.
So, I mean, it works.
Size of coffee?
Medium.
Perry gets himself his vanilla cruller and just a small black coffee. And kind of stands there, not really sure what to do. And then kind of motions towards the car, like maybe we'll have a conversation over a donut.
Just nod at you and follow.
So, walking back outside, it started to rain, just lightly.
Of course.
Yeah. And so it's a quick movement to the car, but I don't know that it's like you're not doing the thing where you're like covering yourself up. I think it's the kind of rain where you can it's the kind of rain where you can like you enjoy the drizzle of it. Like it's like drops that are almost satisfying rather than sticky.
Right. Kind of the like the humidity of the night just broke with that moment, and you're like get an absolute sense of relief from nature, even if it's not relief from T. McGee.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think part of Perry is really excited for this brief moment outside of the car because the tension rising off T. McGee is hard when you're inside an enclosed space. And also knowing that we can't have a conversation in the open, so it's gonna have to be inside the car.
Right.
And sort of he takes a pause to sip a coffee, hasn't bit into the cruller yet, and then kind of does the awkward hold two things in one hand so he can open the door of the car and carefully makes his way back into the Charger.
T. McGee does the donut in the mouth, open the door, take it out of her mouth.
Great. So then the next question here, what shouldn't you have brought? And how does it help us? And how does it hurt me?
Oh, what shouldn't I have brought? I feel like it's something from the evidence room.
Okay. We've brought something from evidence locker. Something that we shouldn't have?
Yes.
Okay.
Something from the evidence room because I think T. McGee is planning on, if this doesn't work, we're going to plant something to make it work.
So T. McGee recognizes not just the ethically dubious nature of what we're doing, but what we're going to have to do to make sure that it works.
Right. Because if what we're planning on doing right now doesn't work, we can't just walk away.
Yeah, we're
because
gonna
that'll
be
because that'll put a price on our heads.
yeah, we're gonna be implicated at that point. We're gonna
Right.
be faces on TV or faces in the text message chain amongst the people we don't want to be in that.
Right, exactly. So whatever we
Mm.
need to do, we need to make sure someone takes the fall for it.
So from the evidence locker, I think now we're starting to clue in towards what this dubious task is. We don't have to say what it is yet, but
Right.
I think we can say what. So from the evidence locker, and we're planting on someone. Um, do you think that it's something that will like get the whole weight of the police department or even higher down on this person if we plant it, or do you think it's something that helps us get in the door? Like is it like are we talking like we're walking in with a kilo and the whole point is that we're trying to show that we can play, or are we walking in with like a gun used to murder a cop?
Both.
Both. Oh no.
Yes. Because
Sarah Babe, oh no.
who knew? Worst option possible. Yes. Because the kilo is to make sure we know how to play.
Sure.
And you probably know that is there. I would have T McGee would have probably uh communicated that at least, so you weren't taken surprised by that. But it still shouldn't have it. But the gun is maybe not one to use to kill a cop. Maybe not, but it's definitely from a case that you've worked on.
That I specifically have worked on?
Yes.
Okay.
So if it goes to hell in a handbasket, you're going to be the one that they're going back to.
So in some ways, T McGee is protecting herself, even though she's along for the ride.
Right.
Interesting choice, Sarah Babe. Okay. And does Perry know you have these?
You know what? No, he doesn't. He doesn't. He thinks we're going to be able to get in on our own merit and just because of what we're driving, what we're wearing, whatever, or knowing that maybe we're suspected of being dirty.
Sure. I mean, look, Milwaukee's not that big. People know the Vice cops.
Right, exactly. They're going to know who it is. So, maybe we're suspected and they're willing to kind of work with us, maybe. So they might accept us that way instead of us. But Trisha knows you're probably not going to get in by that alone. So you need to show you're going to play. Because these are probably, I'm guessing these are people from that run a circuit
all over kind of the Midwest region.
Got it. They run a circuit from like Minneapolis to Chicago to Green Bay, hitting the freeways and going cross country with what they have.
So what's funny about that you brought the kilo and the gun as like a make sure it works is that Perry produces from an inside pocket and places on the dashboard of the car a wad of cash that is bills that are marked that one of their crew had been caught with. And he says to you that the plan he has is to say, I've removed this evidence from the case so that they won't be able to use it against your guy. That's my show of good faith here. And not knowing that you brought things that are probably better, he thinks that he's really done a great job here. And so he puts the bills on the dash and says, like, this is the offering that gets us in the door. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, if it doesn't work, I've got a backup.
Oh, Perry does not like to hear that. He starts the car back up and it kind of purrs awake in that way that cars that are unnecessarily powerful tend to do.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And he
You
heads.
you
Yep.
hear the police interceptor, and if anyone's ever been near a police interceptor as they have started and or accelerated, you know that
You
noise.
know you're there.
Yeah.
And um and so now that we've pulled the UE, that means we're heading back towards the road along next to the marina, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so heading back on track, heading forward, Perry does believe that we have Perry believes that we have now stalled for enough time that we will either be right on time or fashionably late, which is exactly how you want to be
Mhm.
in this kind of situation. Um,
So, question for you.
yeah, what you got?
What does Perry wish he could say to me, and what do you say instead?
Perry wishes that he could say, I'm sorry, for putting you in this situation, for not just jeopardizing your life, but also your career, for jeopardizing the, uh, you know, you have a very good reputation and you're on track to be one of the most decorated cops, the most respected. And if this goes south, all of that is out the window. This is going to be a scandal that ends your career, or it's going to be the black mark on your record for the entirety of the rest of your time. And so what he wants to say is, I'm sorry, like it wasn't supposed to go like this. They escaped, like so I think what happened, I've decided now, is that Perry didn't tell you about a case he was working. I think it was a case that like crossed over from when he was with his last partner and he felt
Right.
like he had to do it alone. Maybe you said one retired and one had a heart attack.
Yeah.
Do you think that your partner retired or had a heart attack?
I think he had a heart attack.
Your partner had a heart attack?
Yeah.
And did he have a heart attack or is it suspiciously heart attacky?
Ooh, that's a good one. I think it might be suspiciously heart attacky, but nobody's really surprised if it really was a heart attack.
Sure. So then okay. Okay. So then I think that uh Perry, this case, right? My last partner went into forced retirement.
Oh.
Didn't retire of his own accord. Forced retirement, hush hush. No one's really talked about it. And it's all related to this case. And this
Ooh.
specific case was supposed to be done. They had something on him. He was secretly like tipping off people so they could get away from stings and things like that. And
Oh.
he got found out and he hadn't gotten anyone hurt, but they decided that they were going to make it go away. And so he retired. And I know this, but I was kept out of it. I was like protected from the fallout here.
Mm-hmm.
And I was contacted by the people we're now going to meet to let me know that if I didn't play ball the way that my old partner had, that they would ruin me.
Oh my God.
And so Perry,
Ned.
yeah, so Perry decided to take this on himself, and he specifically set up sort of a trap to catch them at their own game, where he was going to be able to have another squad swoop in, and it was going to
Right.
work, and they escaped. And so now not only do they have this on him, but they know he tried to double cross them. And that's when he went to T McGee and was like,
Right.
I screwed up.
Right. Right.
I'm abiding by swear jar rules, John Craig, even though we're not in this one.
Yeah, that does make it a little hard being vice cops, but
Yeah, no, I know we're gonna have to work really
that's
hard with our
okay.
Hey,
It's all
look,
good.
it's Wisconsin. Mind your p's and q's,
Well,
there.
you can be accused, yeah. You know.
So I got you, John. So in this moment, what Perry was most afraid of was that you wouldn't say yes to helping, because Perry knew that he needed T. McGee in order to pull off this next phase, which is we'll get to in a second. We will get to what we're doing. But
I have a really good idea of what we're doing, and
it's yours. You've got it.
Going to be dramatic. Okay.
The drama is thick.
Drama.
So so he wishes he could say, "I'm sorry that I dragged you into this. I'm sorry that you have to take on something that was not even yours to deal with in the first place." But instead, nah, I didn't like that one. I had something I was going to say, but it didn't match. I didn't like where it was going to take the scene. So I'm scratching it. I was going to have him say something like, this is all your fault. But like, it's not. So I think what Perry says is, when we get there, we're going to have to be really careful because, Loose Lips Larry told me that every room where we're headed, they have a guy whose only job is to kill someone who looks out of place. We're going into a situation where there will always be one person out to get us at all times. Loose Lips Larry is a useful confidant.
If we see your partner there, I'm not going to hesitate.
And
I'm sorry, ex-partner.
Yeah, Perry takes that one in stride. Perry knows that if Ivan shows up, there's going to be hell to pay. If Ivan is in on this, then Ivan is the one trying to sink Perry. Perry is convinced that Ivan protected Perry from the fallout and therefore couldn't possibly be part of that. But there's a thing at the back of his brain that says it's possible that Ivan's the one that tipped them off here. That like this all started up because Ivan was telling a little bit more than he ever admitted. And when you're dealing with a liar, it's quite possible that they're lying to you as well.
Right.
And so it's possible that what Perry's going to discover in this is that everything he worked for where he thought that he was doing the right thing was for someone inherently bad who he looked up to, who was a mentor to him. And that's something he's not sure he's ready to take on, but also aware he kind of has to because this mess has come home to roost.
I think Trisha, T. McGee. I think T. McGee lets that sit for a little bit and says, "There's no way you could have known."
And Perry nods and then admits, "And yet I suspected. There were too many phone calls, too many step-aways, too many times that I should have known."
But you couldn't have. People like that are built to use everyone around them, to lie to them, to twist the truth, to make excuses. There's no way you could have known. And you can't let that be on your own conscience, because that was not your fault.
Well, it seems to be my mess to deal with. And as we kind of head on down the road, Perry doesn't try to switch on the radio again, but does acknowledge that something about the silence is very comforting. Now that we've kind of gotten a good chunk of this story out of the way, where are we headed?
We are headed to one of the mansions on the lake.
Okay.
Like one of those has a gate, wrought iron gate, 6 foot tall stone walls mansion on the lake.
Do you think that in the situation here that this mansion is owned and or operated by someone who, because if you own a mansion like that on the lake, you've got to be a pretty findable figure in Milwaukee. Like it can't, you can't be hiding out if you're living in that kind of house in
Mm-hmm.
Milwaukee. So do you think that this is someone who is so big that they're almost above the rules here? Like we're going to the mansion of someone who condones this and no one can stop them? Or are we going somewhere where like this is a front of a kind?
It's an alderman.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
And the alderman's in on this whole shindig.
we think so at least.
Okay. We might find out otherwise when we get there.
Right. Because
Perry asks you about that. If you think that the alderman is the one calling the shots here.
he's a sleazy guy. I don't think he doesn't know what's going on.
Mm.
Plus, he bitches a little too much about snow removal.
Well, rich people, they always want the snowplows first. Okay, so we're headed for the alderman's mansion to perform an ethically dubious and definitely dangerous task. We know that there's going to be people trying to kill us at every turn.
Mm-hmm.
We know that there's someone going to kill us at every turn. We know that it's possible that Ivan might show up. I'm rocking money stolen from the evidence locker, and unknown to me, you're rocking in a bag, probably a kilo and a weapon.
Yeah.
They're
probably one is under each.
Sure.
Like under each breast, just because that's where you hide things that you need to hide.
Yeah, I totally can relate to that.
Yeah, I'm sure you can.
Yeah, as someone. Yeah.
Who doesn't have the
underbreast hiding spot
right.
is something that I really relate to.
Yeah.
So, looking at these facts and looking at the world that we inhabit and knowing that we're probably going to get, the gate will open, but once the gate closes, we're kind of trapped in there. We don't have access to get out. We're not going to, we're not going to do one of the movie, like break through the gate. The gate will probably destroy the car if we try. Right. So looking at the realities of it and knowing that we're almost certainly going to get searched on the way in,
mm-hmm.
What do you doubt about the practicalities of our task? And when we're done with this, it's time to name what the task is.
I am going to say, I think Trish is just scared that this isn't going to work. That they're not dealing with coke anymore. That doesn't matter if she plants the gun if it goes wrong. Like, I mean, who would she plant it on anyway?
Sure, the alderman.
Right, yeah, the alderman. Like, what the hell?
Not gonna work.
The marked bills could still go back to the same guy who got away, and he might not be there tonight. There's a lot of if this doesn't happen, then this won't happen. And that leaves us in a very precarious situation because we only know that something is going down tonight. We don't know who is doing the thing.
Right. So we don't have complete information yet. We need to pull this task off perfectly, and yet we're coming in with incomplete info.
Right. But if we don't do it at all, we can't not do it. This is just something that has to happen.
I was also wrong, by the way. There are 3 questions left.
Okay.
Before we get to what the task is.
Gotcha.
So the practicalities for you are really built on like what could possibly how could this work? Like there are too many pieces that could go wrong
Right.
for you. And I think that really resonates with Perry in a way. I think that do you express any of that to Perry? Actually, let me before I say that.
Um, I probably go over the plan and the way that she explains it. There's a lot of ifs.
Yeah, there's a lot of like now be a
Yeah, there's a
that
lot
makes a
of
lot of
ifs.
sense.
Be like, well, if they're not there and they're not there, then they're not there, then they're not there. If this, if this, if this. And you've haven't been a partner with T McGee for very long, but you know that's her being unsure about the situation and not having enough information to make it rock solid.
So then let me, given all of that, what is T McGee's goal tonight? What is the perfect outcome for T McGee privately or publicly? But you get to decide if Perry gets to know.
Um, I probably don't tell him this, but really above all, despite the fact that she has like the gun that would be traced back to him or whatever, she wants to make sure that Perry's safe.
So she's got Perry's back for real.
Yeah, like for real, for real. Because even with the gun that can be traced back to you, to Perry, she knows that there's still stuff that Ivan did that's out there, and it's not above. It's not an impossible idea.
Yeah.
That Ivan would have been involved with trying to take you down now.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Right. So it's like, yes, it would indicate you, but it's possible we could be still stepping on landmines from Ivan years down the road. So it could have been something that he organized to take you down, because if you're going to go down, you don't want to go down alone.
Sure. Don't clip that, chat. Just leave that one alone. So your goal is to make sure that Perry comes out of this safe. Are you willing to do anything for that goal? Like, what's the line where you have to protect yourself and walk away?
I don't think T McGee is afraid of getting shot.
Okay.
Hopefully not fatally.
Yeah, sure. No one wants just like a little shot.
Right, just like in the shoulder. Like, that's fine.
Yeah, sure. You get to like hold it against me for the rest of our careers.
Right, exactly. Like that would be fine, because
classic sequel movie where you start by yelling at me. About the shoulder.
I'd love to grab that for you, but I just, my shoulder is just I can't reach. Sorry.
So there's one plot point that is scripted by the game.
Okay.
And that is one of us, and I'll let you decide who it's going to be. And I'm going to adjust it a little bit. So one of us gets to make a phone call.
Okay.
And one of us, or we can say that this phone call happened prior to us meeting up, or that we have to pull over to make the phone call. So it's an active time before we go to the place. We can either have done it prior to the beginning of this story, or before we get there is like, hold on, I need to make a call.
Well, here's an interesting thing. Could the call be something that we both need to be on? So it's like a speakerphone call?
Absolutely. I love that.
I think that's great.
And I think we are making the call.
Yeah.
So if we are making a call, I think that Perry would like to call. Okay. Keeping it in the vein of like yes-anding. Perry would like to call Ivan just to prove he's not there. But I think I think Perry's gonna call Ivan's wife.
I love it. Yes.
1 o'clock in the morning. You know, we're gonna find out for real.
Is he divorced now? Or are they in the middle of getting divorced?
They're in the middle. They still
Okay.
they still co-inhabit a space.
Okay.
So, and I think he's gonna call the wife, and what he's trying to say is like, "Hey, is Ivan there? I'm trying to call his phone, but it's not working." And if she hands the phone to Ivan, one of two things is true: Ivan's not there, or the wife's in on it. But the second one feels less likely. So
Right.
he is praying that Ivan picks up the phone. If the wife says like, no, he's out drinking with his buddies, like, I think we can assume if Ivan isn't there for any reason, he's definitively at the Aldermans. So we call the wife. I don't know the wife's name. What do you think Ivan's wife's name is?
Julia.
So we call Julia. We ask for Ivan. And I say that, you know, you're on with Perry and Officer McGee. And maybe Julia's like excited to meet the new partner. You know, like this is the first time and we're trying to play nice, but it's also 1 o'clock in the morning. And so like everyone knows that this call is not good.
Oh yeah, this is not a happy fun time call.
But we're like trying. We're like trying to make niceties.
Be like, hey Julia, I've heard so much about you. So nice to talk to you. So sorry about the time of day.
Yeah, exactly. Like, but we really need to talk to Ivan. Is he there? Do you think he's there?
Chat, what do you think?
Chat, is Ivan on the other side of the phone?
This is really tense for me because I don't have Twitch up.
Jennifer Ann 41 says no, but she lies. We have 3 no's. We have no, but she lies, no, and no, he's with his mistress, which is interesting. So I think we're gonna keep no, but she lies.
Yeah.
But I think it's got to be in such a way that we both know it can't be true. So I think here's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Adjusting the situation based on nobody he lies. Thank you, Jenny in the chat. I think that there's a cop still in this, and we know who it is, right? Mm-hmm. And we were working very hard to bring this cop down, but we are now caught up in it in a way. So we were trying to do it behind the scenes, pulling the strings, like making it happen. So this cop that we know is dirty, but we have no way of like gets caught.
Yeah.
And instead, this cop has turned on us. And we know that this cop is going to be there. That's one of the reasons why we have to do this. Okay. Because we need to be able to walk in, and that cop's going to know who we are, and we're going to know who that cop is. And we're going to have the ability to try and either arrest or play along. But either way, like, this is the day the gauntlet gets thrown.
Right.
Right? So
it's going to be like, I see you.
Yeah. So Julia's going to say... Because I think Julia knows that Ivan was dirty.
Yeah.
And I think Julia, despite the upcoming divorce, is protecting Ivan because if Ivan goes down, it's still bad for her.
If he goes down and they happen to do something with his pension, she doesn't get any of it.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. So therefore, what I think happens is that Julia says, what's the name of the cop who we've been chasing here?
Leonard.
Ugh, Leonard. Shout out to not Leonard.
Last name or first name, whichever.
Yeah, it's both. Leonard. Yeah, you know, Leonard. The
Lenny Leonard.
It's actually the other way around. Leonard Lenny. No, Loose Lips Larry is another guy, but good catch, chat.
I was thinking the same thing.
So Leonard Lenny, Julia says Julia doesn't know about Leonard Lenny.
Yeah.
Right? Leonard Lenny, like Ivan took the fall. Perry believes protected Perry from the fallout.
Mm-hmm.
But what we've kind of learned is that Ivan also made sure that Leonard Lenny did not get caught.
Yeah.
And Julia says that Ivan can't come to the phone because he's in the back playing chess with Leonard Lenny. So she says Leonard Lenny is over at the house playing chess with Ivan. And we know Leonard Lenny is at the Aldermans. We know where Leonard Lenny is. So we know Julia's lying. So the next part of the call, we figured out the call. The next two questions here that we get to decide about this conversation with Julia. Now that we know, she says, yeah, he's here, but he can't come to the phone right now. Leonard Lenny came over. They've been drinking beers and playing chess. And we now have to decide what regret we talk about with Julia and what don't we say.
Well, we don't say that we know she's lying.
Yeah, we sure
don't say that.
Lie to ourselves.
Right, yeah. We're not going to say, you're a lying bee's nest, and...
Thank you for protecting John Craig.
You're a lying bee's nest, and we know that he's there, blah, 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 because blah, like, we don't need to get...
We definitely don't say that we know she's lying, but we do talk about a regret.
Right.
Do you think that in this moment is this the kind of cop movie where the regret is tipping her off that we know she's lying? Like in some ways we do say it without saying it, or is this something we legitimately regret?
I think it might be like a, hey, really sorry you got mixed up on all this.
Yeah.
Because I think that's a regret because, it's like being a cop is hard on marriages. And
absolutely.
Going through I'm sure her name got dragged through the mud for this too.
Absolutely.
Because how could you not have known he was your husband? Like all of that nonsense.
Well, and if it's a pretty stereotypical setup, right? Like police spouses is a whole community, right?
Right, yeah,
and
for sure.
Like they probably don't rally around Julia in this moment because they need to distance themselves and their partners.
They probably turned on the PTA when somebody brings non-home baked goods to the bake sale. Like, just
how dare you?
I know, just complete 180. Like, girl, you out the club. Like,
yes. So I think we can definitely say, sorry to call so late.
Yeah.
And I really regret that you're caught up in all this. And I think as the call is sort of coming to a natural close, there starts to be awkward pauses. We've run out of things to say. Now that we know she's lying, we really need to get to the Aldermans.
Yeah.
And we also can't tip her off because we can't have her tip Ivan off.
Yes.
And so pleasantries and all that. And then as you start to hear the natural pause that says someone really needs to hang up, but she can't do it to be polite. And we don't want her to be tipped to Ivan.
Right.
I think we sort of, I think that now that we know that Ivan's there, we know that Ivan is within 3 days of spending the rest of his life in jail.
Yeah.
Like Ivan's gonna go down in this.
Yeah.
And there's nothing we can do about it. There's no way to save him, and we can't try. Mm-hmm. And we also can't tell Julia that that's true. So I think that we tell a lie on the way out, which is Perry asks if he can come over next weekend. Oh no. Okay, so what you got? Go.
So we should all get together. I heard you guys got a new dog. It'd be nice to see you and stuff. I know you're going through a rough time right now, but it'd be really cool. I'd love to have you meet T. McGee.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right?
So
Like,
so we throw the lie into the air, and Julia takes that lie, and it's possible Julia knows more than she should,
oh
that
yeah.
she might even know it's a lie. She
Yeah.
might know what this means. And
Hmm.
Julia puts back into the universe, like, that sounds great. Like, how's Saturday, 6 p.m.?
Yeah, that's lovely.
Absolutely. That's right after we get
Perfect.
off beat that day.
Yeah, perfect.
All right, Julia. Have a good night. And I think Perry can't help but add like a stay safe. Something that like
Yes.
he can't help himself.
Right.
He has to warn her. Like, he's just like, everything is about like, people can't go down for this. And if people should go down for this and he accidentally protects them, that will crush him. But he just inherently believes that people are doing good, which is wild because he's a vice cop.
Well,
Uh
and I think part of it, telling her to stay safe, helps you absolve the fact that, you know, when this all goes down, she's gonna think they knew
yeah.
and refer to this phone call.
Yeah. I agree.
And
I
that's your
agree.
way of saying, I'm sorry, I'm taking your husband down tonight, and your life is never going to be the same after this. And if you thought it was heck before, it's going to be even worse now.
So given that, because we're at our last question before we get to the end game.
Yeah.
Perry's goal for the night. Now that Perry knows that Ivan is there, that Ivan couldn't walk away, that Ivan couldn't leave this behind and get out, and that almost destroys him, to be honest with you. And I think Perry's only goal for tonight is to either destroy this operation or put into motion all of the steps needed that this is over, one way or the other. If he has to turn in his badge at the end, fine.
Right.
But knowing that Ivan got it out, they decided to retire him instead of like take him down.
Right.
And the fact that he's still in regardless of that shows Perry that like a whole lot of people are working way too hard to protect someone who doesn't deserve it.
Right.
And his goal tonight is to take down the operation. And they head out for the alderman's mansion.
This will end with an explosion and us walking away.
It might. It might. It
might. It could.
So, okay. So there are 4 questions left.
Yes.
There is 1 question you get to ask, 1 question I get to ask, and 1 question we both get to ask.
Okay.
So you get to pick. You have the PDF in front of you, right?
I do.
You get to pick if you want the question on the right or the left, and you get to decide if you're asking it now or if I'm going first.
I will take the question on the right.
Perfect.
And I will have you ask your question first.
Great. So we are pulling up to the gate. Now I think the gate, this isn't gatehouse. This is like camera, maybe a buzzer system, right? Like the camera sees the car, you know, Perry puts his head out the window and gives like a little wave salute. You hear a little voice come over and say like, Perry? That's the guy. He's got a nasal voice. Perry?
Perry?
Yeah, man. It's really abrasive when you talk through a terrible microphone. Can you open the gate? Yeah.
Yeah, hold on a second.
The gate does it's a side roller. It's not like a swing gate.
Yes.
So it kind of rolls aside, and you thought it was going to be electric until you get to the very end of it and you realize that there's like a guy there pulling it back. And that's his job. Like the grunt whose job it is to roll the gate.
God, can we just take him with us?
Yeah, like, sorry to that guy.
Be like, yo, just get it. No, just don't leave this job.
The rain is intensifying as we pull in, and as we pass the gate, you feel feels the wrong word because we can't actually hear it or feel it. But in the mirror, you can kind of see the finality of that gate rolling shut. Like, until that gate opens again, one way or another, we're stuck here.
Yeah.
And I think for a brief moment, Perry's heart goes out to the gate roller about being stuck in the rain rolling a gate.
Right.
But he hopes that maybe they're last to arrive and that guy can go like hang out somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's not going to be like that, but he
Yeah,
hopes. He
yeah.
has like a real hope for shout out to that guy.
Shout out, yeah.
And they pull up in front of the house, and it's got a circular driveway, so you can kind of pull in and park and people can still make their way in and out.
Mhm.
Like we won't be blocking anyone in by arriving. And we pull in behind I think we pull in behind a refurbished and absolutely stunning T-Bird.
Yes.
I think there's a car here that is just perfect, and we can't help but park right behind it.
Is it Ivan's? Or is it Lenny's?
I think it's Lenny's.
Oh,
I think it's Lenny's. I think Perry's still holding out hope that Ivan's not here, knowing that he's wrong.
right.
But he hasn't seen Ivan yet.
Leonard Lenny, that fudge nutter.
And so again, the car comes to a stop, and Perry looks at T. McGee and says, "All right, let's go over the plan one last time. And I am asking you, what is the task we are headed towards?"
We're taking down a sex trafficking ring.
Oh. Okay.
Because they've been able to hide whoever they're trafficking in this house. And the alderman has pulled strings with people and covered things up and, destroyed evidence and everything. And they probably do a little light drug dealing on the side too.
Sure. Yeah. Just some sensible,
right? Some
run of the mill.
Yeah, run of the mill, good natured coke dealing. And they probably use the people that they're trafficking to also like move the drugs as well. To
mule it.
Yeah, to mule it a bit. And this is like, yeah. How dark can we get with this?
Technically, we can get as dark as we want. I think the answer is, how dark do you want to get with this?
Okay.
Content warning for our listeners, I guess?
Yeah, maybe a content warning, just in case. So if the idea of human trafficking is not your deal,
maybe drop stream or mute for a few minutes.
Yeah.
We'll give you a thumbs up when we're done with this description.
We haven't been able to get any of the victims, but we have rumors that they're anywhere from like teenagers to old women to, men to younger teenage boys. Like, it goes the full gamut from 15 will get you 30 to older people. So it's just, and we don't know exactly what they're all being used for, if they're being used for like illegal labor or anything like that, but it's not pretty. And we don't know exactly who we're going to be saving.
Do you think that they've somehow been coerced into like protecting? Like, do we think we might have to take on them as well if this goes south? Or do we think that we're going to be lucky enough that there's no chance one of them takes up arms against us?
I think there's a potential that we could have like a Stockholm type of situation where they don't believe they are in a situation where they're held hostage.
Sure. Okay.
Are we thumbs up it or no?
Yeah. What? So what is T McGee's plan here? Is it make a plan once we scout out, or does T McGee have a sense of how this should go down from the beginning?
Um, Team Iggy is probably going to scout it out because we don't have enough information. Try to get basically a tour to figure out where people are, get them out of the situations that they're in. Take down whoever they have to take down. Just the goal is to end this somehow.
Okay. So getting out of the car, I think, this is not a dice game, so I don't think we have to role play through a battle.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we're talking, I do think we're talking, despite the darkness of this experience, we're talking about a good 80s to 90s action movie.
Yes.
There will be a gun battle in this thing. And I think that it doesn't happen right away. Like, no. I think that you're, this is the kind of story where someone gets tipped. I think okay. Here's how it goes down.
Ooh, excited.
Okay. So we get out of the car, we head for the door. We're immediately stopped by a couple of guards in suits. And we get patted down. We get patted down, and they find my weapon, and they find the weapon you brought from evidence. And one of them looks at it and then looks at you and is like, "Is this what I think it is?"
It's a gun.
And they kind of nod. And they put my gun like away, but they keep yours out. We get brought into the building, and we are shown through the parlor of this like ornate, beautiful hall, stairs on either side, right? Like with an over balcony with columns up, but we're actually led straight through the double doors. The deep, rich wood doors that double doors that open inward, by labor that we really hope is hired, and we're pretty sure is not.
Yes.
And we're brought through to the back, which you said the mansion's up on the water.
Yes. Do you think that there is like a necklace or a bracelet or an armband or something that the people we're trying to save are wearing?
Yes, I do. I think that it's
do you think,
but I think it's I think it's something somewhere. Like, I think it's almost an anklet. Like, it's something somewhere where you can close something and solder it closed, and there's no way to get it off without cutting.
Oh my gosh, it's like those house arrest bracelets.
Exactly. Like,
it's a house arrest anklet, so they know where they are. Oh my god, I hate these people so much.
Yeah. And
I'm glad they're not real, because I would want to do awful things to the bad guys.
Of our imagination that we're so angry about.
Yeah, I'm super want to hurt all of these bad people that we just imagined.
So we get led through into this living room, and the back wall of the living room is just glass looking out over the water.
Oh, of course it is.
Right? And there's these gorgeous French doors that open up out onto a veranda that's kind of out over the water, and there's like a stairs down to a dock with a boat.
Oh, and they've got the poncy, like, nice not streamers, curtains, like the really sheer curtains that are like blowing in the wind.
Venetian flows, and and we get there, and we're in the living room, and there are people everywhere, and we have dossiers on everyone in this room,
right?
And off at the back is out on the balcony, kind of looking out, are 4 people. Now, 2 of them we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're not known to the audience. We know who they are, but like we haven't named them yet.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is the alderman.
Okay.
And one of them is Leonard Lenny. We don't see Ivan.
Right.
And Leonard Lenny turns in surprise because Leonard Lenny also knows that if we are here, if we're bad, that's news to Leonard Lenny.
Right.
And if we're good, then we are making a bold move. And he has to be very careful about how he plays this situation.
Yeah, because if we're good, we have gone rogue.
Yes. And the alderman is less surprised because we were invited, but really shocked at the audacity of accepting the invitation.
Mm-hmm.
Because they thought they'd got me because they knew I wouldn't show. But the fact that Perry showed and brought backup in a way is really worrisome. And the guard who brought us in hands the weapon that they took off you to Leonard Lenny, who laughs because Leonard Lenny knows exactly what gun this is. And looks at you and says, like, good on you. And
this ain't my first rodeo.
And it's unclear what's gonna happen next. And then around the corner, through the living room, comes Ivan.
Plot twist. He's got an ankle bracelet.
That is a plot twist. I like it. And Ivan is holding drinks.
Exactly.
And Ivan, here's how the scene plays out prior to the world going boom. Ivan stops short when he sees the two of us. Ivan knows that if we're here, this is bad news. Because Leonard Lenny's not sure if we're good or bad, but Ivan knows we were not in on this.
Yeah.
And so Ivan knows that we're making a play here. And Perry hopes that Ivan can play along. Perry hopes that Ivan is going to do something here to help them maintain, and maybe we can get out of this without a fight. And instead, good old Ivan says, Perry, what are you doing here? At which point everyone knows that the invitation is off. Like, everyone knows there's a problem. Like, we were supposed to be brought here by Ivan. So if Ivan legitimately didn't know that we were coming, then everything is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And Perry says, hey, Ivan, talk to Julia. Guess your chess game didn't go so well. At which point Leonard Lenny knows that this is boned and starts to take the gun to take a shot, and we go into action movie. We're talking one of us tackles a guy over,
it's a, like,
rolls
boom,
down the
boom,
hill,
disarms the it's a boom boom, disarms the what's that thing on the gun that makes it go click click?
The slide.
Yes, thank you. The slide.
Makes it go click click. Great. So we're talking disarm, take out the slide.
Oh yeah.
Person's going over the side. You and I know that we are about to be sitting ducks for a lot of bullets. So the two places we can choose to be are with the alderman, like between the alderman and the guards, because they probably won't shoot at us if they might hit the alderman.
Right.
Or we need to jump the railing, right? And we need to like take cover and figure this out video game style. Which one do you think it is?
Oh God, do we want to? I have images of like one of us, like you taking Lenny,
okay,
and me taking the alderman.
And it's like, back off.
We will pull the trigger on both of them without hesitation if you take one more step.
And Ivan's got a gun. And Ivan's got a gun leveled at us. And what's scary about this moment is that Ivan's life is probably better off if all four of us are dead.
Right.
So Ivan's not afraid of taking the shot. The rest of the guards, unsure, trying to figure out how to play this. You know, at the end of the day, they're here to get paid. They need to make sure that the payment's available. But Ivan has the gun leveled. And he takes the shot. Oh my God, go. Anytime you gasp, you take it.
Yes. So I've got the alderman and with whatever gun I was able to find, I don't know. And you just see the weirdest move coming from Trisha. You're like, what the shit are you doing? You're trying to accuse him as a shield. You've got the head, gun to his head. She reaches down the front of his pants, pulls out another gun.
Okay.
Shoots Ivan in the head.
Oh, okay. Oh.
She looks dead at all of the guards and says, any questions?
Oh, no. I think, okay. Whoa. Okay, Sarah Babe. Given what you know and what we have just said, if there is like a cut to black, pick up the story tomorrow, do you achieve your goal of making sure Perry is safe?
Yes.
So however this plays, the shooting of Ivan allows us to pull this off?
I think so, yeah.
Because I achieved my goal. The question is, do we accomplish our goals? But you accomplished it for me.
Yeah. I think I think after that happens, there's a very short conversation that Perry and Trisha have with Lenny and the alderman, and we're like, we are walking out of here with every single person who has an ankle bracelet on them. We are bringing them in to testify, and there is nothing you can do about it. Do you understand?
I mean, yes. Like they have to, right? Like, whoa, that's okay. Wow. Okay, so given that, all right, there's one last question.
Do we blow up the house and walk away looking cool? With the
we
alderman and Lenny in it?
I mean, I think we have to blow up. I think we have to blow up the house for the sake of the story, right?
Yeah.
But here's the real question.
Yeah.
Do we achieve our task? And I'm tempted to say the worst part about all of this is no.
Oh, yeah.
I think something happens where despite all of this danger and all of this subterfuge and all of this,
the alderman was only a lieutenant.
Like there's something about this that is so heartbreaking that so many lives were destroyed by this night.
Yes.
And like so many lives were destroyed by this night. And it doesn't even really matter. It matters in this one small scale, but it doesn't.
Right. It's not going to stop the whole cycle of everything. Oh, I got chills.
Sarah Babe, that is In the Air Tonight by Austin Ramsay.
Oh, I like that. That is really super good.
That's a fun little game.
Yeah,
that's a fun little game. Everyone, that's available on Itch.io. You go. What you got?
Oh, I can see how this could easily become a comedy thing too. Like this could be buddy cop movie easily.
Absolutely.
This is like what cool vehicle are you traveling in? Be like, it's a pink Escalade. You know, like.
It's I've just posted the link into the chat. If you're watching this on VOD, it will be in the description. It's a great game. You can get it on Itch.io, I believe, for $1.
It's like $1.50.
Yeah, maybe $1.50. Really worth it. These two-person games are really great. What a story we just got to tell.
Right? Wow, that was super fun.
Oh, what a great time. Thank you, Austin Ramsay. Thank you, Sarah Babe, for joining me on the chat.
Thank you for inviting me, Ned.
Yes. And thank you to friend of the podcast, Jeff Stormer, who recommended this game to us. Jeff Stormer has a wonderful podcast called Party of One, where he takes guests through a 2-person RPG. And this, I guess, was one of the games that they had played on Party of One, and Jeff recommended it forward. And I hope you check it out. I hope you find Austin Ramsay and give them some support. Party people, I think that's going to be it for us tonight. Thank you for hanging out.
And
happy Wednesday.
Again, thank you very much to Brad, Lord of the Board.
Oh my God, Lord of the Board, Brad, I'm so sorry. Very much thank you to Brad. Brad is the savior of many things, but mostly me. Frequently.
He's really good at it.
And also to whoever gifted a bunch of subscriptions in the chat. Thanks.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you.
We appreciate you very much.
Thank you so much. That is fantastic.
I wish you would identify yourself, but you wanted to be anonymous, and that's very nice of you.
That is, that makes my day. I love it. Thank you so much. I love it when other people are just, generous. That is just, that makes my day.
Party people, y'all are the best.
You
Have a great Wednesday. Sunday we'll be back on for... No, we won't. It's the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so...
We will not be on Sunday. It is possible, though unconfirmed yet, that we will be playing on Saturday instead. If you haven't gotten caught up, you can find those on our YouTube channel. Be sure to check out Encounter Party wherever you listen to your podcasts. And if you haven't, party people, we would greatly appreciate a rating and a review and a share from you on whatever platform you choose, and telling a friend or three. It goes a super long way.
Yeah, it's super helpful because we can go, see, people like us. And it's not just people told me they liked us over there that one time, and you can't bring it up in actual proof.
So, if you haven't yet, please consider leaving us a rating and a review. To the question in chat, Spotify does not have a rating system.
Oh, okay.
Apple Podcasts, Podchaser is one that is platform agnostic and anyone can use.
Yeah, Podchaser is really nice. I like it.
And also check out Hubble, HUBL has a rating system. I'm sure there are others, but those are the three that I'm aware of off the top of my head. Encounterparty.com for all your party favors. Be sure to come say hi in the Facebook group and the Discord. Thanks for hanging out. Sarah Babe, Brad Davies, party people in the chat. Happy Wednesday community stream. Bye, friends.